it's Melissa, and today I have Ray here.
Hi!
And she's my other half of Melissa, Ray and Company. Today we're going to show you how to do a project using Cricut Infusible Markers. And if you don't know what infusible ink is, it's Cricut's version of sublimation. And sublimation is a gas process that requires pressure and temperature, very hot temperature, and time is the other piece to it. You have to use a substrate that is high polyester or polymer. It needs to be higher than 65%. Today we have two substrates here. We have this keychain and this puzzle. And the way this process works is we are going to take regular plain copy paper. We're going to set up an image in our design space, and we're going to have an image drawn on the paper. And then, since I don't have free writing markers like I should, I'm going to have Raylan color in the lines on the paper with the infusible inks. Then we're going to take that paper, and with the high heat, we're going to put it on the heat press, and we are going to press it onto the substrates. And what that's going to give us is a nice vibrant substrate that does not crack or peel. The ink is actually part of the product now. So this is a keychain that we had previously made to try these infusible inks, and as you can see, it's smooth to the touch. It will never fade or peel or flake, anything like that. So we are gonna head on over to Design Space and show you how to do this. All right, we are over in Design Space, and we are going to pick out the designs that we are going to have the infusible ink markers draw onto the plain papers. So we're just going to go to Images, and I do know the number for the first image, so I'm just going to put it up here. You have to put your number sign, MDCF 8102, and there it is. So it is the butterfly, and I'm going to add it over to the canvas. The puzzle is an 8x10. Normally I like to go a little bit bigger, and this will be too big, so I'm gonna actually do 8 here, and then it's just gonna be a little short, which is fine. And it right now is set up for a pen. We're going to change it to a marker at 1 millimeter, and then we're going to use the black marker. And let's see, yep, there's black 1 millimeter marker right here, and then there's black infusible ink. So we're going to pick that one, and that is ready to draw. Now, Raylan doesn't know it yet, but for the little bone keychain that I'm making, I'm going to make a collar for her stuffed animal Maxine. So I'm going to go to Images, and I want to look for a pattern. So I'm going to put pattern here. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm going to change the operation type to draw only, because we're looking for designs that will be good when they're drawn. Let's see what we have here. Here's one. I like this honeycomb here. So I'm going to pick that, and I'm going to add that to the canvas. Now the bone is about a little under 3 inches wide, and so I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, and we are going to move this to about 3 inches wide. I can do it up at the top, but since I rotated it first, if you look, it's kind of weird when you rotate it. This right now would be the height, but since it's rotated, it's actually the width. It's a little odd that it doesn't switch when it rotates. I'm just going to change it to 3 here. And then for the spot that I want Maxine's name, because that's what the dog's name is, Maxine, and the spot that I want her name is about 1.5 inches wide by 1/2 inch tall. So I'm going to pick a shape. I picked a square. I'm going to unlock so I can change the size freely. And I'm going to say that I want it to be 1.5 wide and I want it to be 0.5 tall. So this is the space that we can put the lettering in. If I put this right over the honeycomb and I select them both, I'm going to go up to a line and I'm going to center it. So we know that that block will be in the center of the honeycomb. And again, I'm just going to select them both and I'm going to slice. And if you pull that aside, we can delete this. And we have a nice little spot to put the lettering now. So I'm going to pick text and I'm going to put Maxine. And we'll change the font to something fun. I'm going to uncheck kerned fonts because there's more options and I don't need this font to be kerned. I know there was one that I was looking at earlier. Cutting up. And let's see. Let's do this top one. Yeah, I like that. And I'm going to make it fit this box here. And if you want to be able to see a little better, you can zoom in. I like that though, so I'm going to select them both and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to center it. Now let's just change the colors. So for the honeycomb, it's already set to the operation pen, so now I'm going to click on this box here and my Infusible Ink Markers are 1 millimeter. And then for the honeycomb, I'm going to pick a purple color, and the one that I have is Wild Aster. And that's right here. And then for Maxine's name, I'm going to change the basic cut to a pen. Click on this so we can decide what color. And again, it's a 1 millimeter marker. And this color is Party Pink. Right there. And that's what, so once the bone is in here, that will look good. And I'm just going to attach these. Since they are inks, we can attach them and it's not going to change both colors the same color. So those are the 2 designs. And we're going to go over to the Cricut now and we are going to put the markers in the slot and we're going to just have this drawn on regular paper. Actually, before we go anywhere, this honeycomb that we have, I'm going to do the honeycomb for the back side of the collar as well since it's 2-sided. So let me go back to that honeycomb. And I'll make the height 3 inches and I will rotate it 90 degrees. And then I'm going to change this to 1 millimeter and Wild Aster. So the back will have a honeycomb as well. Before we go anywhere, I'm just going to save this. Infuse a Ink. And I'm going to say for the puzzle and keychain. It's not the best description, but it will work for now. All right, we're going to go over to Make It. And I want these pieces separated. I want them on 2 separate papers. I am going to move Object to a new mat. We're just going to make it white. It doesn't really matter. We're going to make it a white mat. And I'm going to move it over to the corner. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. I am going to move Object over to the white. I'm going to pick the mat and confirm. And I'm going to rotate this one. Now, one thing with Infusible ink that I didn't mention before is you need to mirror it. You need it to be mirrored, so then when you sublimate it, it comes out right facing. So we're going to mirror both of these. And now let's get our Cricut ready. All right, today I am going to use the Cricut Maker. We have our regular copy paper already on our blue mat. And we have our 3 markers that we're going to use for this project. And the first one is going to be the butterfly, and that is the black marker. So we are going to take my stylus out of the left slot, and I'm just going to lightly push in until you hear the click and close it securely, and it is ready. And we are going to draw the butterfly. And we're going to eject it. And now we're going to do the keychain. And the first marker that it's asking for is the wild aster. So I'm going to put that right into the first slot, secure that. Alright, now we have to switch markers. So we're going to take the wild out and we are going to put Party Pink in. And there we go. And now we have Raylan coloring in the picture that we just had drawn from the maker. And she's using the Infusible Ink Markers. Like I mentioned, there are Infusible Ink Markers that are for hand drawing, which would probably be better in this case. But we have what we have here, and we're going to try these out. the heat press, we are ready to press. As you can see, Raylan has colored in her beautiful butterfly. If you notice, the inks are not super vibrant. We're going to see what happens after we press. Those should become a little more vibrant after we press it. So we set our heat press to 360 degrees for 90 seconds. That's just what I looked up for this puzzle substrate here. Now, with sublimation, since it's a gas process, you can get that ink saturated in everything. You can get it accidentally sublimated onto your heat press. So what you want to do is use butcher paper or parchment paper and lay it on your surface first to protect it. Now we are going to take our puzzle. Here's the puzzle there. And I'm going to put the drawing down first, and then I'm going to put the puzzle on top of that. We're going to line that up how we want it. And then I'm going to take some heat tape, which I wish I had the heat tape dispenser, but I need to get one. I don't have one yet. But I am, grab my scissors. I'm just going to take the heat tape and I'm going to tape the puzzle onto the paper. So during the process, you don't want anything to move. You don't want your substrate to slide at all, because you could get what you call ghosting, and basically it would show it would show a little bit of your drawing just kind of doubled. Definitely need to get a dispenser. It would make it so much easier. Now that that is taped down, I am going to do the paper side up, and I'm going to put another piece of butcher paper at the top, and we are going to press this for 90 seconds. And we are just about done here, and here we go. It's going to be extremely hot, so be careful. I'm going to pull the paper up first. See, it did transfer onto that butcher paper we had down, so if we didn't have the butcher paper down, that ink would have went to our top platen on our heat press and potentially could have transferred onto our next project that we do after this one. So it's always important to have that paper down. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah. I think Raylan is going to be happy with this. It's very hot, so let me get it up for a sec. Look at how much more vibrant that is once we used the heat press on it. Those colors are just so much more vibrant. Here's the original paper, and there is our puzzle. Alright, we are going to cut out our design here. And our heat press is at 400 degrees. We're gonna try 400 degrees for 90 seconds. I'm gonna get some heat tape. All right, so we want to take the keychain and we want to line it up onto our paper. We don't want our paper to be able to move around. All right. We're going to put our butcher paper at the bottom. We're going to put our design face up. And we are going to put butcher paper at the top. And we are going to press this for 90 seconds. All right, we're going to open it up. We're going to actually let that cool down for a little bit before we touch. All right, it cooled down enough. Let's take a look. Oh, still a little hot. So it's vibrant. I probably wouldn't use a 1.0 marker. I'd probably see if Infusible Ink has the pens, which are like a 0.4 maybe. But let's get the back done. Actually, we're gonna let this cool completely down and then we'll do the back. We're going to put the back on now. And for this one, I am just going to put my tape over like this. Usually you'd be doing this on a table, but I'm just trying to show you up in the air. It's just so that it doesn't move. You don't want it to move while it's pressing. We are going to put our butcher paper down first. And we are going to put our keychain paper side up. And we're going to put the second sheet of butcher paper over, and we are going to press for 90 seconds. Now I will mention that this heat press, it's decent, it's okay, it does its job, but we set it at 400 and right now it's at 387, so it is losing heat as I'm using it, which is not great. So eventually I'll get a heat press that does not do that, but for now I'm using what I have. Remember that this is very, very hot. I'm avoiding touching it. And yeah, so vibrant. So we'll see if Raylan likes this for her pup. there's the back. Front. I think she'll love it.